Hello, it's another gateway to Geats. I hope you're ready for it. I am. Yay! So this episode, I kind of noticed like two major threads kind of going on through, mainly between Geats and Buffa. They're very much centered as like di- a dialectic of concept, maybe, or maybe I'm just using big fancy words because I can. Um, good and the bad of the drive of desire. You know what I mean? With Buffa, it's been very, very simple. He only wants to destroy the Kamen Rider. You know, he just wants Kamen Riders, he's sick of them, he wants them gone, you know? Dead. It's just with the Jamato, he's had more chances to do that because he's directly fighting Kamen Riders, you know? However, with Jamato taking on more and more things, such as like his dead friend's Visage, he has to face things that might be different, you know, like he had to think about his friend coming back. No, his friend's dead. Kamen Rider's killed him. All this kind of stuff, and he's having to reconcile of like, oh, maybe I'm something different. I'm not human anymore. All these different kinds of things, and they continue to fight in the game, just going on their merry way. Just trying to reach their goals, but then Geats in this episode gets one up on them. Right? He turns the tables, he does this whole thing, and that's when Buffa lets the truth shine through. Because Geats, beating down the bad guys, wrecks the Jamato that's taking on his friend's face. And in that moment, when his friend's going like, "Hey, buddy, help me," Buffa goes like, "Why should I help you? You're not my friend. You look like him, sure. You've been talking like him, but you're not my friend. He died. You're not him." And it's just like he was only being friendly with this Jamato to like increase the effectiveness of a tool. In like that whole thing is fascinating because he has a single-minded drive to do this thing, to destroy the Kamen Riders, and he will use whatever he can. He's using Baroba just as much as Baroba is using him. His friend coming back could have been a sign to rethink things, to like take a second, take a breath, reanalyze what he's been doing with his life. But he didn't. He just immediately saw a tool that he can use and make believe that they're working together on this big goal to make him a more effective tool. He was so driven by desire that realistically he's dead inside, only longing for one thing: the destruction of Kamen Riders. Kind of makes the zombie power-up all the more accurate. Geats, on the other hand, has a lot more than previous at stake. Now he has to really think about people's safety. It's not just, oh, he can rewind time with the wish and do all that kind of stuff. No, people are getting hurt because they can't do it. It'd be too much of a risk. And again, he still has the possibility of not being able to accomplish his full plan of finding his mother, however that would be. And while talking to a young boy who wanted to do this big old festival and face his fears and all this kind of things and get a wish for his mom because she's sick, it kind of like solidifies his resolve. I don't think it made him, he was questioning anything, but it's very much more of like, yeah, no, I know what I need to be doing. All right, let's do this. And he really wants to make sure this festival goes down for this kid because I believe he kind of sees something in himself for that, in that kid. And so he goes like, Neon, K-Wop, can you fucking keep a handle on this, protect the people, do all that kind of stuff. And seemingly he goes on to fight Buffa and the Jamato, and he gets beaten down, you know, like you would, and he then screams into the heavens. The goddess of desire just goes like, all right, here you go, and 4 boosts fly down, combine, and make a brand new power-up, Boost Mark II, and we proceed with the fucking beatdown. And beatdown it is. He destroys the Shimano that's been taking on Buffa's friend's face, and he beats down Buffa in beautiful fashion, might I add. And all the while, the producer who was talking to Neon's dad and goes like, "Oh shit, it's those fucking things! God damn it!" And Neon's dad's like, "What are you talking about?" And we see later on as the producer's holding up 4 previous wishes, all written in different styles from like different time periods, and it basically they all state, "I want to, I want to reserve this power for like my ancestor or my reincarnation to use later," and they were all accepted. And it's like different versions of Ace throughout history, and this does multiple things. One, it answers why Ace was seemingly a high schooler and got the Geats driver and all this kind of stuff, and saw all those things and all that kind of stuff, and maybe knew something because he was, but also has all this previous experience with the past and history and all this kind of stuff. It's like, oh, he remembers his past lives. Oh my god, he remembers his past lives. It's both. He's immortal but not immortal. He's Hawkman. He's Hawkman. That's what he is. And it just kind of shows even more mystery to like, we know this now with Ace, but what else do we know? We don't know. In any other Kamen Rider season, by this point in time, we know the bad guys, we know the whole situation, and now it's just kind of like, oh, back and forth trying to get through it. We're still in mystery territory, and that's amazing, and that's wonderful. But ultimately, Ace and Buffa want their desires. That's what it's in the name. It's a desire. They want it. They strive for it. They fight for it. Buffa, however, is so single-minded, he can't see any other path. He has to destroy the Kamen Riders by any means necessary, and he will use any tool to get it. Ace, however, can see the forest. He can see that his desire is only one part of a greater whole, that people's safety is just as important, the safety of the world around him is just as important. The game surviving, in an essence, because this is such a big, powerful engine of stuff, has to survive and not just be taken advantage of. All these different things. And I think the little kid is just kind of like the magnifying glass for that kind of concept. Like, bah, look at the forest. This is what's at stake. It's not just desires, it's not just the DGP, it's not just all these things, right? This little kid wants to live a life and do something for his mom. And like, that's important. That is important. The little desires are just as big as the big desires. And in fact, Ace even calls out Jean earlier in the episode as Jean's just like going like, oh yeah, typical Jean stuff. And Ace goes like, dude, this is real for us. This is life and death for us. This isn't just popcorn entertainment. Please. And it seems like a little taken aback, but like seemingly understanding. And it's like, yeah, no, that's the power of Geats. That's the power of Ace, is that he has these single-minded drives, this very simple desire, and he will manipulate and mansplain and fucking misogyny all over the place. But ultimately, he does see the grander picture around everything and wants to make the world a better place. Like, he's gonna make sure he gets what he wants, but like, sure, you know, Ace would be an ethical billionaire. Ace would be Batman, you know? I'll give money, here you go. But yeah, overall, great, fantastic episode. Some of the best action. I absolutely adored it. Great heavy impacts, great use of slow-mo, great use of speed up and ramp up and do all that kind of stuff. And dear God, because here's the thing, I go frame by frame to get some screenshots for this series. There are some frames that are just straight up high contrast, black and white, and it adds so much. It creates such a big impact for all this kind of stuff. And boy, I cannot wait to see what the reincarnation, where that whole thing leads. But you know what this is now? It's that time in Gateway with the Geats. Read our comments. Yeah. Woohoo. I'm Chris Pratt playing Mario. First up from Buster Core, like how they gave Buff a twin command, not only to give more value to the toy, but to truly signify the tables have turned on our heroes. Good shit. The bad guys getting the last two major upgrades, both Twin Command and the gold guy. Can't remember his name. I can't remember a lot of things. You've probably figured this out by now. Really ramps up the tension, you know? The tension. Because it's like, oh shit. They got, like, they're not only just strong as us, they are more strong because they got that power up. And it also kind of, like, takes it away from her heroes. It's really good, like, efficient storytelling. Next up, from Toa Nui, I like that when it's revealed that one of Yamato was copying Buffa's friends, Buffa seemed to think he was talking to a hallucination or something of the like, and was caught off guard when he wasn't. Also, I'm genuinely surprised you got my name right. Most people tend to struggle with it. With the ending of this episode, it seems that, like, it was, like, kind of one part hallucination, and one part not really giving a shit about him. It's just like, oh, you're doing this to try and make, okay, yeah, fuck you. Cool. Can you fight? Will me being friendly make you fight better? Alright, cool, let's do that. Fuck it. And hey, I played with Bionicle when I was a kid. I may have been poor and only had one, but I played with it. I don't know all the lore, but I can say some words. Next up, from Slime Beast 2003. It came from slime. It came from beasts. It came from the year 2003. Kyun seems to want Neon specifically to improve as well as to get what she wants, which I don't think any of the DGP supporters seem to mirror, other than Gekara, really. I had a point here, but I don't know. Also, epic Buffa moments or something. The current state of Yamato remind me of the greed somehow. I think that's good for Kawa and Neon, you know, having the only support sponsor people that really want them to, like, get better, improve, and do all that kind of stuff, because Geats doesn't need it. Geats doesn't need that, and Baroba just wants Buffa to get worse. It's just like, no, I can make him worse. All that kind of stuff. That's a joke you said. I'm just repeating it. Haha. That's what... That's the modern state of content creation on the internet. Now it's a commentary. Now it's a meta commentary. Oh, look at me. I'm a fucking postmodern shit. Well, I was also gonna say something else. Beep 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 boop boop boop. No. I was gonna say something else. Hey, now we're both having, like, fucking bullshit. Wouldn't look at us. Look at us here. From Sakura Tora, loved all the world building in this episode. The people from the future's lives being predetermined to the extent that their lifespan and the result don't even mourn the dead really explains why they lack empathy for the players or lives of the others affected by the DGP. It's already predetermined ancient history, except, as you said, Neon. She's either a wish baby, or as some theorize, she died during the kidnapping attempt, and Time Fire had John and Ben participate in the DGP to bring her back. Either way, she's not supposed to exist. It's sad that it's Narum who points it out to her dad. Her wish for true love she desperately desires could already have been granted by one of her parents simply loving her, and yet he can't. It's all really tragic. Neon's character is fascinating. Like, I think this is, like, some of the most solid trio stuff for, like, a team for Kamen Rider. And, like, it's great. I haven't... ma'am mock. I did not watch 01 Saber or... What's the one that was right before this? Revice. I didn't watch any of those, so I may be wrong. You can tell me in the comments if I'm wrong. Always remember, you can correct me in the comments. But she's just an intriguing bag of worms. And, well, John showed up this episode. You know, and it's also, like, interesting that, like, maybe Kawa is the only normal one? like, because now we have like Ace being reincarnated and Neon's just do a wish baby. Maybe K-Well's just a man? Just a man. Yeah. No, it's interesting things to like do all that kind of stuff. And the kidnapping idea is definitely a fascinating aspect too. I completely forgot about that plot point, so that may be more the direction they're doing. Why set that up if they aren't going to pay it off? That kind of thing. Yada yada, so on and so forth. Next up, we got from the ever-present Fish Pop. Gonna post what I did under the episode. Gonna post what I did under the episode itself, though it just became reactions. Wait, the Yamato elites have a chess motif? The core for Buffa's friends appears to be an ice lion like Blade's final form. Knight Yamato has a sword and I'm pretty sure is reused from a previous series. Nice to learn more about life what life in the future is like. Ah, you had it right, Neon's a wish baby. This Oni festival is reminding me of Hibiki. Of course, melee fighter would clear mission for doing melee combat. Yeah, sure, throw the sword you need to use so it charges. Or you could use the attack on yourself. Boost Mark II next time. Yeah, no, the chess motif is really nice, especially when you think about it as, like, the players are game pieces, and so are the Yamato. They're just all game pieces in this big, elaborate game that the future is playing with the past. Oh yeah, and in Mark II, Boost Mark II, this episode was fantastic. But when Boost 3... When Boost 2-3 is, give it, please. I was trying to make a Fast and Furious joke. It didn't work. And finally, from Gunday, I'm glad that you like the team name. Thank you. The focus on it's getting what you want, all it's cracked up to be, is definitely an interesting point given the reveals this episode. The bombshell conversation between Kiyose, Neon's dad, and Niram was not something I would have seen coming. The future where everything is predetermined, mentioned by Jin, gives some insight to why he loves DGP and fights to feel emotionally moved. Love the updated visuals we got this opening a lot. Like the JGP logo being incorporated and the Plant Crow taking the lead in the team sequence. In a new section with the tricksters and the supporters, the shot of Kekara of K-Well carrying Kekara statue is the best. IMO. The robot may be a sadistic game master, but I have to admit her fashion sense is on point. Love the new outfit she wore in Michinaga. His previous threads fell out of place given that he's playing the team opposite of DGP. Also found it hilarious that Michinaga thought he was having another hallucination episode, only to realize he was talking to an actual individual. Well, the Yamato taking the form of his friend this time. The reveal brought about by the JGP certainly is favoring Buffa a lot so far, not getting points for attacking riders, a stupidly easy secret mission from the GM, and I was surprised he slashed himself to fill up the sword's gauge, access command form. It sounds like an illegal maneuver at first, but he probably doesn't worry much about death, and he's part Yamato. The sword probably still recognizes him as an enemy and counts it as a valid hit. Yeah, no, all this future information about, like, the future, all the people in the future, it is really changing how we interpret any information we're given. Like, just any of it. In any information we have been given. It completely changed everything. Oh yeah, and this whole everything in the JGP seems to just egg Buffa on. So it's like, alright, cool, just be edgy, just wallow in misery, do it all, just go, be bad, be bad, be bad, be bad, you know? And it's just fascinating. But you know what? That's all for this week. That's all for this Gateway to Geats. You know what you can do? You can like this video, give it a comment, give it a subscribe on my channel to see videos like this and many, many, many more. In fact, hey, I'm starting to review the brand new Super Sentai, but I'm doing it as shorts, so keep an eye out for those. And as always, you can follow me on a variety of social media platforms such as Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and Tumblr. Links to all of those are in the description. And hey, I got a Discord server, so you can join that if you would like, and we can hang out and talk about shit. But hey, that's Gateway to Geats. Stay geetsing.